here. They've never been that way. I didn't get anybody on Patty. Or yes, she. No. She didn't ask if we had this, yeah, she was on. Yeah, she's looking at the real thing. Sam Watson.
Hello.
Lou.
You got a little bit there
Oh, thanks.
from the volunteer appreciation.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've used my little flashlight several times.
If you want to. Let's put your mics on.
Thank you.
It's now 4 o'clock. We'll stand for the pledge. We're calling the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will now have an open forum, so if there's anyone who would like to speak on anything that is not on the agenda, you have a 5-minute limitation for presentation. Is there anyone on this side of the room who would like to speak? This side? With no one responding, the forum is closed. If you do plan on speaking on anything on the agenda, you will need to be sworn in. So if you would stand at this time, our deputy clerk will swear you in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from the March 6, 2025 meeting. Is there anyone who would like to move to waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And so therefore, we will send a motion to approve the minutes from March the 6th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. With that being, we'll start with our new business. And our first, Mr. Trask, welcome.
Good afternoon, Tom Trask, the city attorney for the city of Oldsmar. We have 6 cases on the agenda today for discussion and consideration. I'd like to go ahead and start with the first case. This is City of Oldsmar versus Amanda Wu for the property located at 16308 Turnberry Oak Drive. Actually, that's the address of
The owner.
the property owner. The address is 600 Shore Drive West. Is Amanda Wu here? Okay. Okay, so the respondent is here today. So the city is going to call as its witness today Greg Silliman, the code enforcement officer for the city of Oldsmar. Greg, you've been sworn in. Are you familiar with this property located at 600 Shore Drive West here in Oldsmar?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And I'm not sure if you can, let you step over here, make sure we get in the microphone a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. In this code enforcement case, is it a proactive case or was it complaint-driven?
Proactive.
Okay. And what was the finding that created a code violation for today? What was determined to be a code violation on the property?
The house was in disrepair and there was a pile of debris scattered throughout the home or the property because they began tearing up the driveway and removing stuff in the backyard.
All right. Did you go out to the property to actually inspect the property then?
Yes,
Okay, and what date did you go out to the property to inspect it?
April 9th.
Okay. And when you went out to the property on April 9th, did you talk to the property owner at that date?
No,
Okay. Did you see anybody on the property that day?
no.
Okay. Did you go back to the office to determine who the actual owner of the property is?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
I looked it up on Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website and Pinellas County Tax Collector.
Okay. And when you did that, who did you determine to be the property owner?
Mrs. Amanda Wu.
All right. And once you determined that, did you prepare a code violation notice to serve upon the property owner?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the code violation or violations that you determined were on the property?
It was accumulation of rubbish, trash, refuse, and other abandoned materials, any condition which provides harborage for rats, mice, snakes, and other vermin, and then any building or other structure which is in a dilapidated condition that is unfit for human habitation or kept in an unsanitary condition and a menace to health and safety of people.
Okay. And what was the code section number that was being cited?
Section 26-63.
Okay. And did you also cite 2662, the prohibition requirement under the code?
Yes.
Okay. And when you prepared this code violation notice, was it prepared on the same day that you did the inspection?
Yes.
Okay. Did you send it by regular and certified mail?
Yes.
Okay. When you sent it by certified mail, did you get the green card back?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you get the letter back?
Yes.
Did the letter that you sent by first-class mail, did that come back?
No.
Okay. In the code violation notice, did you provide the property owner with some time to bring the property into compliance?
Yes, 14 days.
Okay. After that 14 days passed, did you go back out and inspect the property, determine whether it was in compliance?
Yes.
And what did you, first of all, when did you go back to the property?
April 29th.
And what did you find when you went back to the property?
That it was still in the same condition from April 9th.
Okay. Did you then issue a notice of hearing for today's hearing?
Yes,
Okay, and when did you issue the notice of hearing?
on April 29th.
Did you send that by regular mail?
Yes,
Did you send it by certified mail?
yes,
Did you also post the property with it?
yes, I did.
Okay, and when did you post the property? What day?
It was on April 29th.
Okay. When you sent the mail, did the first-class mail come back?
No, it did not.
Did the certified mail come back?
Yes,
Okay. So the property owner did not sign for the certified mail on either occasion?
correct.
Okay. Did you issue an affidavit of service or affidavit of posting that, for the property itself?
Yes,
Okay, and when did you do that?
I signed that on June 3rd.
Okay, and what does that affidavit of service provide?
It's an affidavit of service stating that I mailed a copy of the notice of hearing on April 29th. Mailed the notice of hearing regular mail, first-class mail on April 29th. And I also posted the property on site on April 29th.
When you were out at the property, either at the first inspection or the second inspection, did you take photographs of the property?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and can you pull those photographs out?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's just go through the photographs, and then if you can explain what we're looking at. Well, first of all, you have 3 photographs, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So let's go ahead and mark them 1, 2, and 3. I don't care where you mark them.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so photograph 1 will show tree debris pile in the front yard. Photo number 2 shows a pile of brick from the driveway pile in front of the home with the dilapidated condition of the front window there. Photo number 3 shows random debris collected from the backyard that was behind the house.
Okay. So when you went out to the property, did you determine whether the property was vacant or was being occupied?
It was vacant.
All right. And was the structure itself open to the public?
Yes,
Was there a door missing or open?
yes,
And were there windows that were open on the property?
yes.
Okay. And these photographs that you took, it looks like they were dated April the 9th. Did you take any other photographs?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm going to pull those out. What other photographs did you take?
I took a photograph of the day I posted the property with a notice of hearing on April 29th.
Okay, and let's go ahead and mark that as number 4. Looks like you have other photographs too. If you can just number them, 5, 6, and so on, and explain what each photograph depicts.
Photograph 5 was taken on June 4th. It shows an open window, and then the front windows, it used to be a garage in the past history where the bottom, I would say half of the windows are all open. Or missing, I should say. Picture number 6 is just a close-up of the missing windows or wall that were in the front. Picture number 7 shows a missing door in the back, open window, and then an adjacent open door in the back of the house.
Okay, so when was the last time you went out to the property? Was it on June the 4th?
Yes.
Okay, and so did you determine whether or not that the property was in compliance or it's still in violation?
It is still in violation.
All right. So if the code enforcement board found the violation of these code sections, how much time do you think would be necessary to have the property brought into compliance?
30 days.
All right. And with regard to the daily fine, if it's not brought into compliance within 30 days, what are you asking the code enforcement board to assess fine-wise?
I would recommend the max fine of $250 per day because it's a life safety issue with the home being open. Children or anything could get in there. It could just be a danger in life safety.
All right, thank you. Okay, I don't have any other questions with the code enforcement officer. I would like to tender into evidence the following things. Let me just hand it all over. I'll just go
All right.
through it. The first thing is the code violation notice dated April 9th, 2025, along with their certified mail that was returned. The second document is the notice of hearing for today's hearing, along with the certified mailing that was returned. The third item is going to be a printout from the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's Office showing ownership of the property. The fourth item is going to be the affidavit of service, that's showing how the property owner was noticed for today's hearing. And then the last exhibit would be a composite exhibit of the photographs that were just testified to. We're asking that these all be received into evidence.
Thank you. Please note that these have been accepted for, as evidence into the file.
At this point, the city rests its case and give Ms. Wu the opportunity to cross-examine the code enforcement officer and then have her put on her case following that cross-examination.
Would you please state your name and your address?
My name is Amanda Wu. My mailing address is 16308 Turnberry Oak Drive, Odessa, Florida 33556.
And your property address?
Property address on this case is 600 Shore Drive West,
Okay.
Oldsmar.
And you wish to speak?
Excuse me.
Yes. Would you swear Ms. Wu in, please? Were you here for the swearing in? Oh, were you here? Okay. What would you like to say?
I want to explain the situation. This house was flood damaged from a hurricane. After the hurricane damaged, some door and wall and damaged by the flood. After this notice, we did the action right away. We cleaned the pile on the picture. That was cleaned after received the letter. And in the meantime, we have a contract. Contact the officer, Mr. Greg. He know that case. They on the contract. They working with the city and the Pinellas County. They go through all the paperwork and the requirement. They will have demolish next week. So we follow all the instruction, all the letter. So we did a lot of work. We try to get the contract before the letter happened because that's my property. I feel very harmful from the hurricane damage. I need help from all the people and the city. So we try to call the contractor. We try to find the contract. They delayed. Finally, we get the contract. They working with Mr. Greg. We're working with the county. They are final steps next week. They put a notice already. Mr. Greg know that. They going to do demolish next week. So everything we did all follow all the instruction.
Do you have building permits?
The contract has it.
The contractor, they're not posted on your building?
They did whatever they need to do. I think they go final step. I don't know what's the exact paperwork, but the contract have that.
Mr. Stillman, can we ask some questions?
They posted on the property.
Oh, okay. And,
They have a sign on the property.
okay,
Contract has it.
the contractor has signs. And when do you think that it's going to be finished?
They finish next week.
Who has questions?
When you say finished, what do you mean by that?
Demolish, total clean, demolish project.
Demolition?
Yeah,
Taking
demolition.
the structure down.
Yeah.
Has there been any attempt to secure those open areas so kids or whatever can't get?
No case. We had a fence, a security fence around the property many months ago. We just waiting the demolition company. They finally come in. We did try the many company. They not show up. Sometimes they show up. They give you junk the price. You're not affordable. So finally we have a good company. They working on this. And Mr. Greg know this. He's helping them to finish this project. I want to comment, Mr. Greg did a lot of work, gave me inform and help the contract to get approved. I think he did a lot of work. I want to give his credit. We working on this very hard, but we have very hard damage. I feel so painful for lost the house. I need all the city and help me get through this. Because it's really hard for us to get a contractor. Yeah, sorry.
Is the city, can we verify that we have gotten building permits in a,
As soon as this witness is finished, we'll
Okay.
call Mr. Silliman back up for redirect.
thank you.
I appreciate all the help you can give me.
When was this contractor hired? Is this a new contractor just recently?
Hired
Because of
maybe
letters or?
end May or and that time before the holiday, I think. Before the Memorial Week, they delayed probably because of the holiday too.
And how about the certified letters that were sent?
I never get go to mailbox.
That is your correct address, correct?
I get the regular mail, that's I working on that right
But
away.
the address they were sent to, that is your current
Yeah, I
mailing
didn't
address?
go to office to pick up or anything. May 10 contract, May 10, yeah. We did the contract on May 10, right after the letter. But before we get this contract, we work actively to calling many company, but sometimes they don't show up. We working very hard, yeah. Please help me get through this.
Yes. Anybody else have any further questions for Ms. Wu? Can we,
I have a few questions. if I
thank
may.
you.
So, Ms. Wu, you don't dispute that there is a code violation on your property. The code violation's been cited by the code enforcement officer, do you?
The officer, Mr. Greg, did talk to me. He said if I find a contract to get the time to work on the county permission, he will waive the violation because he know I'm in a hard situation. I actively work on that. I just didn't get a final contract to finish it.
All right,
He said it will be
it
waived.
was a very simple question. Do you agree that the property is in violation with the city code as of right now?
That's not no.
No, you do not agree.
No, disagree.
All right.
The pile removed, the window broken, the door wall broken by hurricane. Then we should have a sympathy for all the citizens get the damage for this. I cannot replace the door or window if I planning that demolish that part and make Oldsmar beautiful more. I think I deserve to support. I want to build Oldsmar get more good new construction to help all the community and more beautiful. That's my goal. I shall not get a code violation code for punishment.
All right, she answered my question. I don't have any other questions of this witness, but I would call Mr. Sullivan back up for redirect to address some of the questions that have
Okay,
been posed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
If you could sit down, please. Thank you. So I have a few more questions for you. You've heard the property owner say that she's been working with you on getting the property into compliance. What exactly have you had your interaction with the property owner to get the property into compliance?
I have spoken with Mrs. Wu about cleaning up the debris piles, which they did do. On the notice of violation, it was obtained Pinellas County permit for demo and complete demolition, which that has not been done yet.
Okay. She has testified today that there's a security fence around the property. Is there a security fence around the property?
No, there's not.
Okay. Has there ever been a security fence around the property?
Not since it's been damaged since the storm, no.
Okay, all right. I don't have any other questions for Mr. Silliman. If the board has any additional questions based upon the testimony that was given?
Just to go back, you said there is a demolition permit, or she hasn't filed for it yet?
She has completed what she needs to do with the city of Oldsmar as far as our permitting process goes, but she needs to obtain the permit from Pinellas County.
That's what I thought.
Her contractor has applied for it, but it has not been issued by Pinellas County yet, so it's not on property yet. So
Understand.
it can't begin demolition.
Do we have any idea when the county is going to issue that permit? Because I know people have been waiting months for permits.
I can't say in the specific case, but in general, the demolition permits from Pinellas County do not take that long.
Okay, that's good.
Hold on a second. You're not a witness, sir, okay? Any other questions for Mr. Silliman?
Is the timeline for the damage done, or that you've been dealing with this, consistent with the hurricane? It seemed to me, if I heard her the way I heard, that this was all caused by the hurricane. But it sounds to me like it's been an ongoing problem far before the hurricane.
The substantial damage to the home occurred from the two storms, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Would you like to receive a summary from us?
Sure,
Okay.
we would.
So I think that based upon the testimony and evidence you've heard today, specifically the photographs, the testimony from the code enforcement officer, that the property is in violation of the cited code section 2662. That's the prohibition provision of the code that says you cannot maintain a nuisance on the property. Obviously, if this if this is storm damage, it's been in existence for 7 months. The storm hit the first one, I think, on September 26th of last year, and the second one followed about 10 or 14 days later. So this property has been in this condition for too long. As for the processing of the permit, it's not the city's obligation to process or to provide her with a means of getting her permits. Although the city has been trying to help people, it is not the city's obligation to do that. It's the property owner's obligation to do that. You've heard some testimony from the property owner and the code enforcement officer that he has in fact gone out of his way to try to help her. The property is still not in compliance. We're asking that you find, the code enforcement board find that there is a violation of the cited code section. We're also asking that you order that the property, if it's not in compliance within 30 days, that $250 a day fine would begin to run for every day that the property remains in non-compliance.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Trask regarding this? Okay, this is a suggestion by the city. As a new board, you have the opportunity to increase the days it needs to be, or take their suggestion as is and move on it. So, what say? You should. Does anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we.
In case number?
Case number, oh, excuse me. Oh, thank you. Case number 202500001, that the property that will come into compliance within the 30 days, or assessed after the 30 days, assessed the $250 per day, as suggested by the city.
And is there a $35 filing fee as well?
No, there's no longer
Okay.
a administrative fee. I would ask for the board, in considering in making the motion, and by the way, in your manual, you have in the back of the manual some form motions that you can consider, but we're looking for 3 things. We're looking for you to either find a violation or not. So if there is no violation, it'd be a motion to find no violation. If there is a motion to find a violation, that'd be 3 things. You find the violation, you order a date certain. So if it's 30 days down the road, maybe July 5th or July 6th, somewhere around in there, and then the daily fine. All those 3 things need to be included in your motion so that the city clerk in her office can prepare the appropriate motion for the chairman to sign once this meeting is over.
Amend your motion? or-
I'm trying to think of what I would say to amend the
Okay,
motion.
no, you don't amend it, just ask to withdraw it.
I'll withdraw the motion,
Okay,
please.
and I can make a motion, right?
You have to pass the gavel.
Hmm?
You have to pass the
Oh, yeah,
gavel
here
to the
you
vice chair to make the motion.
Okay.
Vice Chair.
Oh. I didn't know.
I move that in the case of 202500001, the city versus Amanda Wu regarding 600 Shore Drive West, Oldsmar, that we find the violations in violation, and that she be allowed 30 days to bring the property into compliance, which would be July the 5th. And if that is not brought into compliance by that date, that we fine her $250 a day for failure to complete it.
I second it.
You can't, you're holding the gavel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Okay, Ms. Clark is handling this motion now, so.
I'm sorry, I'm not prepared
You can call the motion
for this meeting.
discussion
Okay,
and the vote.
okay. Any discussion? And what's the,
All in favor?
all in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Any opposed?
Any opposed?
Any opposed?
No.
Boy, I need to practice.
It's okay.
Been a while.
Huh?
It was unanimous.
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 And the
So-
date's July 5th, I think she made.
Right.
So if I could summarize this for Mrs. Wu, so she understands exactly what has happened today. So Mrs. Wu, you've been found in violation of the cited code section 2662. You've been given until July 5th to bring the property into compliance. Should you not bring the property into compliance by July 5th, the daily fine of $250 a day will begin to run. You'll be getting a written order. It will be coming from the clerk's office in a little over 10 days. So please go to your mailbox and pick up that mail. That'll say the same thing that you've just heard from this code enforcement board. It'll reference those things. If you don't understand what has happened today, you can talk to the code enforcement officer after the meeting or call him when it's convenient for you. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I move on to the next case then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next case on the agenda is City of Oldsmar versus RC Homes Construction LLC. Is there someone here for that case? Okay, sir, thank you. So this is for the property located at 321 Shore Drive East, and the city would call again Mr. Silliman to testify on behalf of the City of Oldsmar. So is this a complaint-driven case, or is this proactive?
Proactive.
Okay. And what brought this case to your attention?
They had done work without permits. I received an email from my department head.
Okay. So did you go out to the property to determine whether or not that there was an actual violation of the city code?
Yes, I did,
Okay. And what date did you go to the property?
on April 15th.
So when you went out to the property, what did you find?
I could not find too much from the outside of the home. I was given, when I received the email from my department head, I received 2 photo packets. One photo packet was done before the storms, after the storms, and the property had been remediated with drywall removed. The second packet showed the house that was fully renovated and redone without any Pinellas County building permits.
Okay, so when the email came in for this property, did you go to the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's Office website to determine who owns the property?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and who did you find out owned the property?
RC Homes Construction LLC.
All right. And when you determined who owned the property, did you issue a code violation notice?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what date did you do that?
April 15th.
When you sent that on April 15th, did you send it by first-class mail?
Yes,
Did you send it by certified mail?
yes.
Okay. Did the first-class mail come back to the city?
No,
Did the certified mail come back to the city?
yes.
All right. When you sent the code violation notice, what code section did you cite the property owner for being in violation of?
It was under section 2 or 3.3.2 and section 6.8.1. 3.3.2 is building permits, and 6.8.1 is permits and approval required.
So in layman's terms, these are 2 code sections in the city code that says that when you're doing work on your property, you need to get a building permit, correct? Okay. And when you sent this letter, how much time did you give the property owner to bring the property into compliance?
7 days.
Was the property brought into compliance within 7 days?
No, it was not.
Okay. Did you subsequently issue, well, first of all, when you sent that code violation notice, what did you attach to it?
I attached a copy of the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website showing the owner is RC Homes Construction LLC, and I included 4 photographs, one of the remediated damage with the property, and then 3 of the renovated property inside.
Okay. So there would be no question that if someone received that letter, they would know that the city has a photograph of the drywall have been removed and then having the entire house remodeled, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so the property wasn't in compliance within the time period that you requested. Did you issue a notice of hearing for today's hearing?
Yes, I did.
All right. And what date did you send that out?
The notice of hearing was sent out on April 29th.
And when you sent out the notice of hearing, did you send it by regular, first-class mail?
Yes,
Did you send it by certified mail?
yes,
Okay, did you also post the property with it?
yes.
Okay, and when you sent out the first-class mail, was that returned to the city?
No,
Was the certified mail returned to the city?
yes,
Okay. When you posted the property, did you take a photograph of the posting of the property?
yes, I did.
Okay. Let me just set it over here so it doesn't fall. Did you also prepare an affidavit of service showing how you served the property owner?
Yes.
Okay, and when did you do that?
I signed it on June 3rd.
When you provided this affidavit of service, what does it tell the code enforcement board?
On April 29th, I mailed a copy of the notice of hearing, certified mail. On April 29th, I mailed a copy of the notice of hearing, first-class mail. And on April 29th, I posted the notice of hearing on the property.
Okay, so as of today, is the property in compliance?
No,
Okay. When you received these photographs, did you review them?
yes, I did.
Okay. Can you pull out those 2 packets of photographs? And what I'd like you to do is like we did the last time, take your pen and mark each one of them and number them, and explain to the code enforcement board what these photographs depict.
So the first photograph shows the exterior of the home prior. The second photograph shows the home with removed drywall. Photograph 3 is another photograph of the interior of the home with the removed drywall to about 4 feet in height. The same with photo 4. Photo 5 is a picture of the pool in the backyard of the home. Picture 6 is another room that has the drywall removed up to about 4 feet in height. Picture 7 shows a bathroom where the drywall is also removed up to about 4 feet in height. And is just another picture of the same bathroom on picture 8.
Okay. And you said you received a second set of photographs from another city employee, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if you could go through those and number them as well, and explain what these photographs reflect.
The first one is not a photograph, but it is a listing of the home that was listed for sale. It was listed on Zillow. Photo 2 is a picture of the exterior of the home. There's 2 more pictures. Number 3 is 2 pictures of the exterior of the home. Picture number 4 is a picture of the interior home after renovation. Picture 5, or sheet 5, has 2 photos on it with the renovated kitchen. Picture 6 is another angle of the renovated kitchen. Picture 7, or sheet 7, has 2 pictures, another of the kitchen, another picture of a bedroom, and Picture 8 is another bedroom. Sheet 9 has 2 pictures of a renovated bathroom. Picture 10 is a renovated bedroom. Is a picture of the backyard and the pool area, and then of a new water heater. And picture 12 is also the pool in the back. Sheet 13 and 14 are 3 pictures of the pool and the nye area in the backyard. Sheet 15 and 16 shows a portion of the backyard, which also includes a AC unit and a shed. Photo 16 is a picture of the shed in the back. And photo 17 is an area photograph of the property.
Okay. Take these paper clips, keep them together, before and after. Okay, on the front of these 2 packets, there is a yellow sticky note. There is one that says before, one that says after, and those reflect, the before is just after the storm damage, correct?
Yes.
And the one that's marked after is after all the work has been completed on the property without building permits,
Yes.
okay? All right, so what does it take for the property owner to bring this property into compliance?
They need to complete their application with the city of Oldsmar for the floodplain review, and after they they receive their approval letter from the city, they have to go to Pinellas County and pull after-the-fact permits for all the work that's been done on property.
Approximately how much time do you think that will take the property owner to do that?
30 days.
Okay. If the property owner does not bring it into compliance within 30 days, what are you suggesting would be the daily fine and the reasons why?
I would recommend $250 per day for the fine. It's a life safety issue. The work has been done without permit, so none of the work in the interior walls that's now hidden behind drywall has been inspected, such as plumbing or electrical. So we have no way of knowing the quality of work or the safety level of the work that was done inside the interior walls.
All right, thank you. All right, at this time, I'd like to submit into evidence the code violation notice and the certified mailing, the notice of hearing and the certified mailing, the affidavit of service. I'll take that paper clip. And the photograph that's attached to it showing the property was posted. Okay. I'd also like to tender into evidence the photographs that have been testified to as to what the property looked like before the work was done, and then after the work was done. Another packet. Ask that they all be received into evidence.
Show that the committee accepts these as provided into evidence. Thank you. Sorry, can I have
I don't have any other questions, Mr. Silliman. I don't know if the board has any questions.
I do have a question. I'm curious if RC Homes Construction owned the home at the time of the hurricanes, or if he purchased it after the hurricanes.
I do not have that information with me right now.
Okay, we can check with him. And so the signs that were posted for sale, those are RC Construction attempting to sell the home?
The photo packets were listed on Zillow that were found the home for sale.
But we don't know after it was repaired
Yes.
by? Okay, so it's the construction company trying to sell it
I believe-
after he fixed it up?
Yes.
Okay.
Are they ready to be passed on?
Yep. Going back that way this way.
No. Everybody gets a chance to look at them.
Any other questions for Mr. Silliman? Okay. Thank you.
upside down. I wonder what the date was.
How's it coming?
I think she's doing pretty good.
That's not what she's looking
Yep.
for.
I didn't know if you want to separate it. So no problem.
15. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to get a good look at the photos.
Go over to Jen.
Oh, sorry.
Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the evidence for case 20250002?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Have anyone like to speak? Please stand and state your name, property address.
Hi, my name is Carlos Perez. I live in 7101 Cumberland Place, Tampa, Florida. I am the owner for 321 Shore Drive. I buy the house after the hurricane, and the lady sell the house to me with the driveway out. That is the picture Mr. Solomon take it. After I buy it, the only I added is the new drywall, 4 feet, new flooring in vinyl, cabinets and door. That's and the AC unit and the outlet and switch, but that is due a company for electrical company, and the AC is due a AC company. The only I do it for myself, but I understand for put a flooring, I don't need permit or cabinet or doors. Mr. Solomon called my realtor the day my realtor put the sign. My realtor called me for tell me Mr. Solomon calling. I called him that day, Mr. Solomon, in the morning, and he's no answered the phone, and he called me back in afternoon. I asking him what is the next step, and he tell me the next step is coming here to the county and do the permit, do the application. And I'm coming 3 days later, and I submit everything here. Everything is running here in the office in the front in this moment, but it's not done. After that, after it's done, the lady he tell me I need going to Pinellas County for with the paper for do it everything. That is the only he got the house different. Outside, I not doing nothing. It's the same, only paint. That's it.
Did the previous owner that was in possession during the hurricane provide you with any letters or paperwork advising whether the home was substantially or not substantially damaged?
No, I buy as his.
Bought it as his.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Perez?
So when you bought the house, what was the condition of the sheetrock? Was it already cut out, or did you cut it out?
No,
remove it?
no, the ex-owner called it. I buy in the moment I buy the house, he no got the sheetrock.
One more time?
In the moment I buy the house,
Yeah?
he no got the sheetrock. I buy the house.
There was no sheetrock, it was
No,
already cut?
out for sheetrock. That is the picture Mr. Solomon show. Is the picture for the ex-owner put it in the moment he sold the house in Silo. He no got sheetrock. He no have cabinet.
But you sheetrocked after you bought the house? You performed that work?
I do it the sheetrock for
Yeah.
feet. Yeah,
You did all the rebuilding.
yeah.
Are you in it says your construction. Are you not aware of building permit rules or
For
enforcement?
I understand I need permit for do it plumbing, electrical, AC, but for sheetrock never I hearing for I need permit for sheetrock. I understand for flooring I don't need permit or doors or tile. That is the basic. I do it. It's something for electrical. I call another company. He do a job for electrical, and he's do it. I pay for that. Or AC. I call one guy I got is a technical for AC, and he's doing the job. He's certificate companies for doing that.
Was there electrical work done on the property?
Yeah, the electrical is the guy is going to be there. He's found that everything good. He changed the outlet and the switches. That's it.
And he didn't raise the outlets up, make them higher, anything like
No,
that?
no, nothing. It's in the same spot. Everything.
Nor the AC had no permit, correct?
Huh?
Nor the AC had no permit?
No.
Okay, I don't know that we could.
The old AC is working, but I changed, but it's no good. I sell the house with AC is coming in under the water or old AC. But I know I need permit for that. That is my fault.
Are you a licensed building contractor? You have your state of Florida license?
Yeah.
So when you went to look at the house, being in the trade, and you're saying the sheetrock was already cut, obviously you knew there had to have been some kind of water damage, because otherwise, why would you go up to 4 feet, the distance from the ground to the cut, right? So you knew that the house had to have water in it. Is that a fair assessment?
Yep.
Okay.
You were aware.
So all the damages and anything that was repaired after that, wouldn't you be thinking, if I was gonna live in it for electrical, how about my boxes? They need to be inspected.
But
All right.
that's not
Well-
what is up for.
Right, that's not what he's on here.
Right.
I got you.
Well, what we'd like to know is, are you aware that there was damage prior, but you completed repairs without going forward with permits? And you admit that, right?
I didn't hear verbal response.
Could you respond verbally, please? Say
Out
yes or
loud.
no.
Oh, I know.
Yes, you admit that you agree that you knew that
Yeah.
it was, okay. Okay, what do y'all say? Does anybody have any other questions?
You said you've gone to the city. Have you filled out the paperwork with the city to get the city?
Yeah,
Permits?
3 days after I talk with Mr. Solomon, I'm coming to here to the city and submit everything.
So is that 3 days?
He called me the day he's going to the property. I talk with him in the afternoon. I'm coming 3 days later and do everything here in the city.
Because I'm just looking at it and saying, you know, April 15th is when he went out and mailed the letters. Then April 29th, the notice of hearing was posted, and here it is, the beginning of June. And I don't see that all of the work has been done to do what you need to do. And so I'm just wondering why you waited instead of doing it before. Is there a reason why you waited, or?
No. It's only, I understand in that moment everything is float here. It's normally everybody is going to change the house, fix the house. That's it. I later, after the call him, I'm coming and do everything here.
Okay, so the recommendation, oh, go ahead, Cheryl.
May I ask, what date was it that it was put up for sale?
He got probably 4 weeks in this moment, 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Yeah.
Was your intention to sell it without getting the building permits?
My intention for sell it, I do a fix and flip.
Excuse me?
I do it fix and flip.
Flip, fix and flip. Okay.
But was it your intention to sell it without getting the required building permits that you are aware of were needed since April?
Well, the same, for in that moment, it's my fault for I not do the permit for the AC or electrical. I know that. For the other, I know you don't need permit for do flooring or cabinet or doors.
And you did not take the house off the market while you knew these other things needed to be done?
No.
Okay.
If there are no other questions, I'd kind of like to summarize the case.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I think that between the testimony and the evidence that you've received today, it's clear that Mr. Solomon has met his burden of proof and showing that there is a violation of these two code sections for the property owner failing to get a building permit for the work that was done. It's clear that the property owner has admitted to the violations as well. It's good to see that he has started the process of applying for the permits, which will get him in compliance. But he hasn't as of right now, and the property is still up for sale. That was an important question that was asked. We're hoping that this property doesn't get sold before the permits are actually issued. But since the city has met its burden, we're asking that you find the property in violation of the two cited code sections, 3.3.2, 6.8.1. Give the property owner until July 5th to bring the property into compliance, which is roughly 30 days away. Should he not be in compliance by that date, we're asking again, since there are life safety issues involved here, that the maximum fine of $250 a day be placed for every day that the property remains in non-compliance.
Thank you.
Does anyone have a motion?
I make a motion.
And it says?
Thank you. I make a motion based on testimony, evidence, and facts presented and the law that at the time the alleged violations, section 3.3.2 and 6.8.1 of Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar was enforced and in fact. The respondent was in violation thereof. The respondent has until the July 5th, 25, to come into compliance with the code sections or be fined $250 a day. shall be imposed for each day thereafter the respondent remain in violation of said section.
Case number and address.
The address is 321 Shore Drive East, Oldsmar, Florida. And where's the case number? I don't see that.
Top, right. Here.
And the case number, I'm sorry, 202-50002.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I will second that motion.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Perez. You'll be getting a letter from the city. Good luck to you. Okay, Mr. Trask is back with our next case.
Yes, thank you. So case number 4 on the agenda, this is the City of Oldsmar versus Terry Townsend for the property located at 314 Country Club Drive here in Oldsmar. The city would again call Mr. Silliman as its witness. Sir, can you tell us whether or not this was a proactive case or a complaint?
It was a complaint from our permitting section in our office.
Okay, and what was the complaint that was received?
That work was being done without permit.
Okay, and when you got that complaint, did you go out to the property to determine whether or not that there was a code violation?
Yes, it did.
When did you go out to the property?
On April 17th.
When you went out to the property, did you find a code violation?
Yes, I did.
And what code violation was there at the property?
Code violation section 3.3.2 and section 6.8.1.
When you got back to the office, did you determine who the property owner was?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
Through the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website.
And what was the result? Who was the owner?
Mr. Terry Townsend.
Okay. When you were out to the property to determine there was a violation, what exactly did you see while you were on the property that day?
I was outside of the property. This was another case when I received a photo packet from our permitting specialist with work that had been listed for sale, and it was listed on Zillow. And it had interior work done. It wasn't fully completed, but you can see that the drywall had been remediated out for about 4 feet in height, and then the drywall has been replaced at that time in the photos.
All right. When you prepared this code violation notice that you sent, what date did you send it to the property owner?
April 17th.
Did you send it by first-class mail?
Yes.
Did you send it by certified mail?
Yes.
Okay. Did the first-class mail come back to you?
No.
Did the certified mail come back to you?
No, it did not.
Okay. Did you get a green card back on the notice, code violation notice?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what does that reflect as the date that it was signed?
On April 24th.
Okay. How much time did you give the property owner to bring the property into compliance?
7 days.
Did he come into compliance with that 7 days?
No, he did not.
Okay. Did you then issue a notice of hearing for today's hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and when did you issue the notice of hearing?
Notice hearing was issued on April 30th.
When you sent that, did you send it by regular mail?
Yes.
Did you send it by certified mail?
Yes.
And did you post the property with the notice of hearing?
Yes.
When you sent it by regular mail, did regular mail come back to the city?
No.
Did the certified mail come back to the city?
No.
Okay. When you posted the notice of hearing on the property, did you take a photograph of the notice of posting?
Yes.
Okay. And is that attached to your affidavit of service that you prepared?
Yes.
Okay. When you prepared that affidavit of service, what was the date that you prepared that?
It was signed on June 3rd.
And what does that tell the code enforcement board, that affidavit of service?
It says that I mailed, certified mail a notice of the hearing on April 30th. It says I mailed the notice of hearing via first-class mail on April the 30th, and that I posted the property with the notice of hearing on April 30th.
Okay. When you went out to the property, did you determine whether or not a stop work order had been placed on the property, or is that something that you would have done?
I issued a stop work order Back on the property, it was done on January 22nd.
Okay. Did you take a photograph of the stop work order?
Yes,
Okay. And you said that was posted on the property itself?
yes,
Okay. Is that on the front door or the front window?
on the front window.
Okay. Did the property owner continue to work on the property after the stop work order?
I don't believe so.
All right. So let's talk about the photographs that you have in your possession. These photographs were photographs you said that were placed on Zillow?
Yes,
Okay. Was that to sell the property then?
yes.
Okay. If you could go through the photographs, maybe number them and explain to the code enforcement board what each one of them depicts.
Okay. The first page is the address and the for sale price. The second page, I'm sorry, it was not Zillow, it was Realtor.com that the pictures were taken from.
Okay.
So page number 2 shows that it was on Realtor.com. Picture 3 shows a picture of the exterior of the home. Picture 4 is a picture of the back of the home.
Is this before the work was done or after the work was done?
It was after the existing work was done. Pictures 5 and 6 show that the new drywall has been put in. It was just mudded, but it had not been painted. Seven, 8 are just more pictures of the interior of the home with the new drywall in. Picture 9 and 10 are more interior pictures. Pictures 11 and 12 show the kitchen with the lower cabinets and appliances removed and the new drywall installed. Pictures 13 and 14 show the interior of the home with a new drywall, and there is an AC unit, which I'm not 100% sure if that is new or not. '15 and 16 are more interior pictures of other rooms of the home. '17 and 18, more interior pictures. Picture 19 is another interior room of the home. Picture 20 is a picture of the bathroom with new drywall in it. Picture 23 is a picture of the rear of the home.
And the last photograph?
An aerial photo of the property.
Okay. So as of today, is the property in compliance?
No, it is not.
Okay. What is it going to take for the property owner to bring the property into compliance?
He's going to have to get the Pinellas County building permits. He has satisfied what the requirements with the city that he needed to do. Those were completed yesterday. Once we update that in Acela, which is Pinellas County's website, then he will be able to take the approval letter to Pinellas County. He'll just have to get the permits for the work that he's completed.
Okay. So how much time do you think it will take to bring the property into compliance by getting those permits now?
30 days.
All right. And if the property is not brought into compliance in that 30 days, what do you think would be the appropriate daily fine?
$250 per day,
Why?
because it's a life safety issue, because the walls have been enclosed, and we do not know, the electrical work or plumbing work has not been inspected.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'll go ahead and take the exhibits then. At this time, I would submit into evidence the code violation notice dated April 17th, along with the signed green card. I'd also tender into evidence the notice of hearing showing that it was mailed, and also the certified mail receipt that has not been returned as of yet. a photograph of the stop work order up close, a photograph of the stop work order placed on the front of the building, the affidavit of service, and the photographs of the affidavit of service being posted on the property. And lastly, I would tender in evidence the photo packet that Mr. Silliman went through showing the work that was done on the property without building permits. Ask that they all be received in evidence.
Thank you. The board accepts this evidence as produced in case number 2025003.
The city would rest at this point.
Is there anyone in attendance to speak on Mr. Townsend's behalf? Hearing no, what is the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion. I got the script. For case number 20250003, property address 314 Country Club Drive, I move based on the testimony, evidence, and facts presented in law that at the time of the alleged violation, sections 3.3.2 and 6.8.1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar was in force and effect. The respondent was in violation thereof. The respondents have until July 5th, 2025 to come into compliance with the code and a fine of $250 per day after July 5th shall be imposed for each day thereafter. The respondents remain in violation of said code section.
Having heard the motion, is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. So the next case on the agenda, case number 5, or agenda item number 5, rather. This is City of Oldsmar versus Blue Palma Holdings LLC. Is there anyone here for that case? Okay, good, thank you. All right, so the city, this is for the property located at 436 Country Club Drive here in Oldsmar, and the city would call Greg Silliman as its witness. Greg, is this a proactive case, or is this a complaint that you received?
This is a proactive case.
Okay. And what was your first involvement in this case? What day?
It was on January 28th.
Of this year?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened on that date?
I was doing my patrol, and I was next to the property. I noticed that they were doing work inside the property with no permits on site.
Okay. When you were at the property then, did you issue a stop work order?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do that after you determined that there was no permits issued? And if so, how did you determine whether or no permits issued?
I checked through Pinellas County SL program and our ADG program in the city of Oldsmar.
Okay. And you found that there was no permit issued, and then you issued the stop work order?
Yes.
Okay. Was there work done after the stop work order was put in place?
No.
Okay. So, did you go back to the office and determine who the property owner was?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
Through the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website.
And what did that tell you who the property owner was?
It was a Blue Palma Holdings LLC.
Okay. Did you issue a code violation notice to the property owner on that day?
Yes.
And what did the code violation cite? Which code sections?
Sections 3.3.2 and section 6.8.1.
And those are the two code sections in layman's term require building permits for work done on the property?
Yes.
Okay. How much time did you give the property owner to come into compliance?
7 days.
Did he come into compliance within 7 days?
No.
Okay. Did you have any contact with the property owner once you had sent that code violation notice?
I have not.
Okay. When you sent that code violation notice, you sent it by regular mail?
Yes.
And was the regular mail returned?
No.
Did you send it by certified mail?
Yes.
And did you get a green card back on the certified mailing?
Yes.
And what was the date that that green card was signed, if it has a date on it?
4/21.
Okay. Since the property wasn't in compliance within that 7-day period of time that you gave, did you issue a notice of hearing for today's hearing?
Yes, I did.
All right. And what date did you issue that?
On April 30th.
When you issued that notice of hearing, did you send it by regular mail?
Yes.
Was that returned?
No.
Did you send it by certified mail?
Yes.
Did you receive the envelope back through the certified mail?
Yes.
But did you post the property in addition to the first-class mail?
Yes, I did.
And when did you post the property?
On April 30th.
Did you take a photograph of the posting of the property when you posted it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you prepare an affidavit of service for today's hearing?
Yes.
And what does that tell the Code Enforcement Board?
On April 30th, I sent the notice of hearing via certified mail. On April 30th, I sent the notice of hearing first-class mail, and on April 30th, I posted the property with the notice of hearing.
Okay. So when you were out at the property, did you have the opportunity to take any photographs?
Yes.
Okay. And what photographs did you take?
I took photographs of the exterior of the home and a photograph of the interior of the home through the front doorway.
All right, so if you could then go ahead and number those photographs like we've done in the past and explain each one of those photographs, what they would depict.
Photograph number 1 is a photo I took from outside, shooting in through the front door, which shows new drywall put in, mostly on up to the 4-foot level. There's some where the entire wall was replaced. In that picture, there's also new windows that are leaning against the interior wall of the home. Picture number 2 are the front windows of the house that have been totally removed from the property. Picture number 3 is a photograph of the side of the home with the 2 windows that are boarded up with plywood. Picture four is a photograph of the front of the home, which shows 2 other windows boarded up with plywood and the front door open.
Is the property in compliance today?
No.
Okay. What does the property owner need to do to bring the property in compliance?
The property is still in substantial damage, so he would need to work with the city to get the house out of substantial damage to non-substantial damage. He would need to complete the floodplain construction paperwork with the city of Oldsmar. Once that's complete, the city would issue him an approval letter, which then he could take to Pinellas County to apply for and get the required permits.
If the property does not come out of the substantial damage determination, what does the property owner need to do?
I believe the options are to demo the house, build up to the new flood regulations. There is also an option in some cases where they can vacate the bottom. This is a single family or single level home on grade, where they might be able to vacate the bottom level and build up on top of the existing block.
Okay. All right. How much time do you think that the property owner will need to bring the property into compliance?
30 days.
And if he's not in compliance in that 30-day period of time, what do you think would be the daily amount of fine that would be appropriate?
$250.
Why the high $250 daily fine?
One, it's a life safety issue concern with the walls being re-drywalled already, so there has not been any inspections done with plumbing or electrical, and the home might not be in the condition where it can be repaired. It might need to be demolished.
Okay. All right, thank you. I have no other questions. Let's go ahead and get the documents and the evidence. Take that and that. And those. At this point, I would tender into evidence the following things: the code violation notice and the signed green card, the notice of hearing for today's hearing, and the certified mailing, the affidavit of service, and the photographs of the posting of the affidavit of service on the property, photograph of the stop work order that was placed on the property on January 28th, and then the packet of photographs of the property as a composite exhibit. Ask that they all be received into evidence.
The board accepts the photographs and evidence as presented for case number 2025-0005.
Thank you. The city rests at this
Or
point.
no, 04, I'm sorry.
Correct, 04.
Is there anyone in attendance who would like to speak on behalf of Blue Panel Holdings?
Yes, please.
Please state your name and your address and the address of the property.
My name is Sergio Parra. The address of the property is 436 Country Club Drive in Oldsmar.
I'm sorry, I did not get your last
My
name.
name is Sergio Parra.
Can you say-
Sergio Parra. And I'm the owner of Blue Palma Holdings, LLC.
Did you get that, Jenna? Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, chairs and members of the board. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. First and foremost, I want to say that I fully understand the importance of obtaining proper permits, and I take full responsibility for the work that was done without them. When I purchased this property back in December 2024, I was not aware that it had been designated as substantially damaged from a prior storm. Otherwise, I would have not purchased the property. I learned the substantial damage designation in January 28 of this year when I received the stop work order. Shortly after that, in February, I went to the city and received the documentations and guidance needed to begin the reassessment process. At the time, I wrongly assumed the burden of that issue fell on the previous owner for not disclosing it. I'll be honest, instead of acting quickly, I hesitated and did not follow through as I should have. I realized that deeply, and looking back, I understand that regardless of how I came into these situations, it became a responsibility the day I took ownership. I now fully focus on resolving this correctly, and I have re-engaged with the city, halted all work since January, and I have begun preparing what's needed to move forward with the reassessment and permitting. I'm here today not to make any excuse, but to ask the opportunity to work with the city in good faith, correct my mistakes, and bring the property back into full compliance right away. I would request an extension instead of the 30 days to 90 days because I would like to reassess my options instead of bringing it as a not substantially damaged. I would like to see if I can demo the house and build a bigger property on the lot. And that would require a lot more time and preparation. So that's why I would like to ask for the 90 days, if that's something you guys will do for me. I also, before coming here, I sent an email to
Mr. Stillman?
Mr. Sullivan. Didn't get any response back. I engaged with the city of Oldsmar. I got the email here I emailed Miss Tatiana Childress, so I can get all the information and all the things that I gotta submit to evaluate whether it makes sense to bring it back to not substantially damaged or just demo and build a new house. Thank you.
So, does anyone have any questions?
I do. So you purchased in 12/24/24, right?
Yes, by the beginning of December 2024.
And on
The substantial letter was issued on November 26th, a week before we closed on the house. And none of that was disclosed to us.
Right. So was there sheetrock open or closed or water damage or what?
There was water damage, yeah.
You saw it, you knew that obviously it
Yes.
had water in the interior.
Yeah.
You
I
got
was not aware that the substantial damage was something that was.
You didn't realize the level is what your testimony is?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So you got a stop order on 1/28/25 thereabouts? That's what I wrote down?
Yes.
So you're notified by the city, hey,
I was.
something's not right here, you ain't using
I only
permits.
got the stop work order. I didn't get the letter that was saying that we got the stop work order. I
Right.
just saw it. I just saw the picture.
But you knew there was an issue?
Yeah, I knew
Because the
there
city
was a-
contacted you?
yes.
So the next question is, so since January 2025, you're asking the board, instead of a 30-day, you want a 90-day because you want to explore your options, but we've known it since end of January that you better be looking at what your options are because you're in violation with the
Yes.
ordinances now, right?
Yes.
You admit didn't have permits and you were doing work, but you stopped after you're told by the city?
As soon as we saw that, we stopped. We covered everything up, and then the property has been untouched since then.
So why the delay, I guess, to
The
assess
delay
what
was
you need to do with the
because
house?
I got a lawyer to see if there was any way that I can get that transaction undone. And that's where we got 90 days gone without pretty much having a response from the other party. And now I just want to move forward and make sure that we make what's best for the city, either invest in a new home or just bring it back to non-substantial damage. That's what the time frame of the 90 days was. We're going back and forth with the other party, but they just don't want to cooperate. They don't want to admit that they got the letter before.
That's the people you purchased it from, correct?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Go ahead.
Yes.
What would you have to do to get it back to non-substantial damage?
I guess I have to do the reassessment based from the information that I got. A new inspector have to go and reassess the building, and I have to submit a new estimate for the repairs, make sure that I'm under the 50-50 rule for FEMA. And if that's approved, then the house will probably be not substantially damaged, and then we can move forward with the permitting.
I see.
Does anyone else have any?
I have no other questions.
You were caught in a difficult deal. Okay.
Thank you.
Wait, did you have something? Oh,
I just wanted to go ahead and summarize now that the property owner has been completed. It's clear based upon the testimony and evidence that you've heard today that there is a violation of the two cited code sections. The property owner has admitted to that. While the city appreciates the fact that he's moving forward to get the property in compliance, his delay since January is an issue for us. This is a property that we believe there are life safety issues involved in it, and that's the reason why we had suggested the 30 days. So we're asking that you do find the code violations that have been cited. Give the property owner until July 5th, which is approximately 30 days, or subject the property owner to a $250 a day fine for every day that the property remains in non-compliance.
Thank you.
Mr. Trask, can I ask a question? I know that, I think this is the first one where we're battling between substantial and non-substantial. And could we ask that he comes back with whatever he's done to get it to be not substantial, or the building permit by July 5th? That's essentially what we're asking, correct?
So we're asking that he be found in violation,
Right.
and however he comes into compliance, whether he's going to demolish the property, get a permit to elevate the property, or whatever other permit that he would need, that's what we think that he needs to do. As for coming back here in another month and to give you an update, you have that legal authority to do that. My suggestion on behalf of the city is that you move forward with the finding of the violation.
And then we can
And
address
if the property owner wants to file a petition for rehearing or reconsideration or an appeal, he would still have those options. And he also has the opportunity to meet with city staff. And if there is a recommendation next month to extend the compliance date, he can, of course, request that, or we can come back and request a compliance date be extended, but the finding of the violation will already be in place.
Correct.
So just some suggestions.
Thank you. Does everyone understand? Do we have a motion?
I make a move on the, okay, all right, I make a motion, I move based on the testimony, evidence, and facts presented in law that at the time of the alleged violation, sections 3.32 of the Code of Ordinances and 6.81 of the City of Oldsmar was in force and effect. The respondents were in violation thereof. The respondents have until the, what was our day? July 5th, 2025, to come into compliance with the code, or a fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day thereafter, and the respondents made in violation of the said code section. Case number 2025004. Address is 436 Country Club Drive, Oldsmar, Florida 34677.
I second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Did you understand?
I did.
Good, thank you very much.
Thank you. We'd like to move on to the next case on your agenda. This is agenda item number 6. This is City of Oldsmar versus Alpha Blue LLC. This is for the property located at 506 Shore Drive East here in Oldsmar. The city would call Greg Silliman as its witness. Greg, is this a proactive case or complaint that you received?
It is a proactive case.
All right. And when you say it was a proactive case, is it a direct result of you driving around the city and finding this violation yourself?
It was not myself at the time. Stop work order was issued on February 13th. It was done by a workforce employee named Vaughn Malakas. He was on like a subcontract deal through the workforce agency, so he did the stop work order.
Okay, was, when you say that he was he part of the city at that point? He was working as a contractor for the city?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the reason that the city used contractors after the storm?
It was for extra help, so he was here just to assist in flood-related matters
Okay.
for code enforcement.
All right. So did he issue this, a stop work order then and place it on the building, or was that something that you did?
He issued it and placed it.
Okay. And did he take a photograph of the stop work order when it was placed on the property?
Yes, he did.
Okay. So once the stop work order went into place, did you go out to the property to confirm that there was work being done?
Not on that day, I did not.
Okay. What was the first day of your involvement?
When I issued the notice of violation on April 18th.
Okay. When you issued the code violation notice on April 18th, did you determine who the property owner is?
Yes,
How did you do that?
through Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website.
And what did it provide you as the property owner at that time?
Alpha Blue LLC.
All right. So when you issued the code violation notice, what code sections did you cite the property owner with?
Sections 3.3.2 and section 6.8.1.
And again, those are the two code sections that require building permits for work done on the property?
Yes,
All right. How much time did you give the property owner to bring that property into compliance?
7 days.
Did it come into compliance in that 7-day period of time?
No, it did not.
All right. Did you send that by first-class mail?
Yes,
And was the first-class mail returned to the city?
no,
Did you send it by certified mail?
yes,
And was that letter returned to the city?
yes.
Okay. After the code violation notice was issued, did you go out and inspect the property to determine whether it was in compliance or not within that 7-day period of time?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what did you determine?
That it was not in compliance.
Did you issue a notice of hearing for today's hearing?
Yes,
Okay. And when did you do that?
on June 1st.
All right.
I'm sorry, May 1st, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. May 1st.
Yeah.
All right. And in that notice of hearing, was it sent by certified mail?
Yes,
Was that certified mail letter returned?
yes,
Did you also send it by regular mail?
yes,
Was the regular mail returned?
no,
Okay. Did you also post the property?
yes, I did,
Okay, and when did you post the property with the notice of hearing?
on May 1st.
Okay. Have you prepared an affidavit of service for this code enforcement board hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that affidavit of service tell the code enforcement board?
It tells them that I mailed a certified letter of the notice of hearing, first-class letter of the notice of hearing, and I posted the property with the notice of hearing on May 1st.
Okay, and attached to that affidavit of service is what?
Photographs of the notice of hearing that I posted on the property on
Right.
that date.
All right, so what work was actually being done on the property?
They had done some, looks like, work in the bathrooms, replacing like bathroom vanities, and there was construction materials in the garage from the photos that the
All right,
contractor took.
the city's
The
contractor?
city contractor, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's just go through those photographs, let's mark them by number, and then if you could explain which each one of these photographs depicts so the board knows.
Okay, photograph number 1 is a stop work order placed on February 13th. Photograph number 2 shows a shower and bathroom with construction material in it. Photograph number 3 is another photograph of bathroom. And photograph number 4 is the construction materials, I believe were in the garage.
So It looks then from the photographs, then there was work in at least one bathroom, maybe two bathrooms?
Correct.
Okay. After the stop work order was issued, did the work continue, or was it, did it stop?
I believe it stopped.
Okay. Is the property still in violation today?
Yes.
What would it take to bring the property in compliance?
The home is still in SD status, substantially damaged status, so they would have to apply with the city and the county to get it out of SD, or they'd have to demo the property or elevate the property.
All right. How much time do you think it'll take to bring the property into compliance?
30 days.
And have you determined what the appropriate dollar fine should be, should the property not be brought into compliance within 30 days?
$250 per day.
And why do you think that it should be $250?
Because they've had time to reassess the property and get it out of the substantially damaged classification, or to apply for and get the demolition permits required to demo the house.
So do you believe there are life safety issues involved, and that's the reason why the fine is $250?
Yes, there could be more extensive work done inside the property that I'm not aware of.
Okay. All right, thank you. So at this point, I would tender in evidence the following things: the code violation notice dated April 18th, 2025, as well as the return certified mailing, a copy of the notice of hearing for today's hearing, along with the certified mail returned, the affidavit of service showing how the property owner was properly served, and then the photographs that were testified to. I ask that they all be received in evidence.
We accept this into evidence as produced for case number 202-50005.
Thank you. Unless there are questions for Mr. Silliman, the city rests.
Finally.
I thought it was me.
You must be on a timer. It shut itself down.
I should have told you, right?
Okay. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on behalf of Alpha Blue LLC?
Yes, sir. Anthony Comprado for the LLC. It's a trustee.
Thank you. Please come forward and your name and the address.
Certainly. My name's Anthony Comprado. I'm an attorney for Alpha Blue LLC. It's the trustee of the property, which is at 506 Shore Drive East, Oldsmar, Florida, 34677. I'd like to cross-examine, if I could go ahead and ask a couple questions of the inspector, and if I could get that evidence back. You have it, Madam Clerk? And Mr. Trask, for speed, just if I could maybe help you find those, because you know where the pictures are. Just the pictures of the construction stuff. Your name again, sir, and I apologize for not listening.
Greg Solon.
Mr. Solomon?
Yes.
Silliman.
Silliman. Mr. Silliman, you went to the property on May 1st?
I went to the property on April 18th, the date I sent the notice of violation.
Okay. And is that when you took these pictures?
I did not take those pictures.
Who took these pictures?
It was a contractor that was working with the city of Oldsmar from Workforce. He was in assistance for flood-related damage and code enforcement.
How did he enter a locked building, if you know?
He informed me that there was someone working on the home that he spoke with, and they allowed him into the property.
Okay. Did that person, if you know, tell him that work was being done, or you said there's construction materials there? Do you know if the work was being done required a permit?
I do not know the full extension of their conversation.
Okay. Do you know, because you spoke on life safety, I'm just going to ask a couple questions and then I'll be done real quick on this and we'll get to, you speak consistently of life safety issues. Do you know if the water in this building, have any personal knowledge that the water that entered this building, how high was it?
I do not have personal knowledge of that.
Okay, so if it was under the receptacles, under the electrical and did not affect electrical, there'd be no life safety issues here in this building, correct?
I am not an electrical inspector or contractor, so I don't have the answer to that.
So what do you base the life, let me give these before we shoot them out. What do you base the life safety issues on then, sir?
The possibility that there could be other and further work done on the property that we're not aware of.
So it's just an assumption there could have been work done or there could be something done?
It's a possibility.
It's just possibility. Okay, great. Thanks, sir. That's all I want from you.
All right.
If I could call OC Contracting, we have the contractor here. I'm going to bring him up.
Sir, have you been sworn in?
I have.
He did stand up, yes. Can you come up here and stand up?
Yes, my
Yeah.
name is Derek Thompson, project manager for OSSI Construction.
For who?
OSSI, OSSI Construction.
Okay, sir, and have you been contracted by the homeowner?
Yes, we were.
Okay, and where were you contracted by the homeowner?
Roughly somewhere around the end of January, 1st of February.
Okay, so around the time after the work, you weren't part of the work, any work that was done?
No,
before?
we weren't part of the work that was, any work that was done there. We came in to assess what was done there.
Okay, and that was your initial assessment. You've known the
Yes.
homeowner for a while?
Yes, I've known the homeowner for roughly about a year.
Okay, and you know the homeowner has owned this property before the storm, correct?
Yes,
Okay. So this is not someone that is just buying the property. This is a homeowner that's owned the property before the storm. It's
Yes.
not like someone that's just come in.
no, he's owned it for quite a while, as I understand it.
Did you prepare an affidavit on what you thought would be applicable work that would be done on the property?
I did,
Did you go ahead and go through the property and see if it was substantially damaged?
I did.
Okay. Did you go ahead and did you file any type of substantial damage reassessment forms with Pinellas County and the city?
Well, we sent them back, we met with the Oldsmar Code Enforcement Department on the 5th of May, and we got the substantial damage package and a report from them, and that was emailed back into them somewhere around the 17th or 18th, I can't be sure. So we were aware of this substantial damage report, but it was our argument. We even reached out to an engineer that we deal with to come just validate what we saw, what I saw, which was when you don't have sheetrock in a house, this is an older house that was built, there's no sheetrock in this house at all. Odd to say, but there's none. So there was nothing to take out, nothing to replace. From the damage and things that we looked at, water levels there after talking to the homeowner and looking at things that were done, only a portion of the outlets were replaced. There was no countertops in the kitchen replaced. We looked at the cabinets, there was no swelling on the cabinets. So we determined that it took on some water, but not enough water to have substantial damage. So I called an engineer and just had him come in and give a take on what he saw, which we have a report right here. That report we offered and took over to Oldsmar, and they said, well, that's all great and fine, but you have to do this substantial damage report. So
after we met with them on the 5th, somewhere around the 17th or the 18th, we emailed that back out to them. We haven't heard from them yet at this time, but in my report and what I saw, baseboards were replaced. Like I say, there was no drywall to take out or put back, which is the biggest thing with a lot of this flooding.
So it's masonry, just to be clear.
Yeah,
it's
masonry, block walls, interior and exterior.
All right, so we're not having any type of mold issue with
No,
that masonry?
no, sir.
The engineering report, you actually provided it to the city?
I did.
Can I show you what I have as a copy? Is this
Yes. this
true
is-
and correct
this-
copy of the
yes,
engineering report?
This is a copy here, yes, sir.
Okay. And you've done an affidavit also
Yes, sir.
on what the actual work that you've gone ahead and believed that was supposed to be done? Is this a true and correct copy of what you've testified to today?
Yes, it is.
On the substantial reassessment, that's been filed both with the county and the city?
Not the county, just the city of Oldsmar. What we filled out, we sent back in on the 18th, and we were just waiting to hear back on that.
But you provided to my office certain
Oh, yes, same documents.
same documents?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Have you been given any information of what is the next step in that actual substantial reassessment process?
Well, they said that, I forget what you call it, their public adjuster had to come out, because I know sometime before I got involved, the homeowners went ahead and had paid out of their pocket to have an appraisal done in as-is damage, to not meet the 50-50 rule with the damage to assessment. So when we met with them, I can't remember the guy's name I met with the city of Oldsmar, he said, well, still, we have to have our public adjuster come out and do an inspection of the property. So
Have they given you a time frame for that?
no, they didn't.
Okay. All right, so after the actual public adjuster comes out and the substantial reassessment is done, you intend to apply for the permits then?
Oh, yes, we tried to apply for the permits twice, but when you go in and you have a substantial damage area, they kick you back out until you get the paperwork that has to be approved on the substantial damage side, and you get the waiver, and then you can go back. It was mentioned a couple times here earlier with a couple other cases.
Okay, and you've done no work, you're a licensed contractor, you've done no work since you've come into the.
Well, I'm not a licensed contractor. I'm a project manager for a licensed contractor, OC
Oh, okay, all
Contracting.
right. So you're the representative
Yes,
of OC
yes,
Construction?
yes, sir.
Okay. And how much time do you think it's gonna take to go ahead after all this is done to get the permits applied for?
Well, I know the typical today has been 30 days, but, I told him that, if we can get about 45 days, I think we can get this wrapped up in 30 days because, again, I don't know their time frame on getting it assessed and,
So you're waiting for the city?
It's not just the paperwork that has to be done still. He said once they get the paperwork in, they have to schedule whatever they schedule to reassess the property.
So you've taken all steps to go ahead and bring it
Yes.
in substantial compliance?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
I have no cross-examination.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do, actually.
Great, may I go ahead and put this in?
I'm sorry?
Please, may I put, would you like to see if this is engineering report?
So when you got contacted in January, end of January, 1st of February, right? What was the extent of why they called you in the first place?
Well, the extent of why they called in the first place was they said they got a stop work order for work that was being done, and it was passed on to me by my boss, and the first thing I asked, well, give me a scope of work. I always ask for a scope of work to see what was done. In that scope of work, they said they replaced some interior doors, they replaced some outlets, they replaced some baseboard. I asked, did y'all do any plumbing? They said no. I asked, was there any drywall that was replaced? They said the house isn't drywall. That kind of threw me for a loop because, excuse my French, other than the projects, I haven't seen a house that hasn't had drywall on it in 30 years. So I was really shocked to see a house in this area, that especially this area on Shore Drive, that didn't have drywall. There's no drywall in this house, concrete block, concrete structure inside and out. So I just proceeded to move forward to see how we can get permits. That's when I was hit with the substantial damage after calling a couple times and finally, trying to work, rip and run. I said, well, okay, let me take a day. So on the 5th, we went over there, me and my wife, we went over there to meet with them to see whatever, and they gave me the substantial damage package.
So while you're there, your testimony is you're there to what, to inspect and find out how you can help him with
With getting
answering that,
with getting the
that
after,
question?
with getting the after the fact.
Did you look under, in cabinets or any of the other rooms in the garage, no water lines anywhere, even though the neighborhood was all flooded?
None.
Never saw
Now,
nothing?
no, what I'm saying is, when I got there, the paint work and all of these things were already done. So when I come in, what's happened when work has been done and it's been cited after, it's called after the fact permit. Still, with trying to pull an after fact permit, I still have to still follow the regular protocol as everything else. So still, even though the work is done and we can see that there's no there's no drywall, we don't have any mold issue, I still have to, go through the paperwork to get it out of that status.
But wouldn't you be concerned about, I know we've talked about the electrical from this house to other cases, why we worry about the water lines, right?
I understand.
Are there new receptacles? I mean, if you're inspecting, you probably
Oh, yeah,
could tell
I
those
did
things.
say that earlier, that,
All through, or, I
well,
mean,
I'd say out of the whole house, there was about 15, 16 receptacles I saw that was.
so it's fair to assume that we're not dealing with an inch or two that we talked about replacing the baseboard of water height.
Well, I can
To be fair?
say fair to assume. Yes, sir.
So in your opinion, there's substantial water inside the house?
I can't say that because I wasn't there. It's just typical with everybody that's got any water in any house, in every house from here to St. Pete to down south, you're gonna replace the receptacles. Matter of fact, let me give you one better. I have a house in Plant City, had a foot of water in it. My receptacles are 16 inches off the floor. Did I replace them? Of course I did. But what I'm saying is, I wasn't there, I didn't see it. I'm after the fact, just to try to remedy a problem that's at hand to move it forward. Substantial damage? No, we don't have substantial damage. Do we have damage? Yeah, of course we do. So I'm just here to try to remedy the problem on your books, and the owners can get back to whatever they're doing with the property.
Do they usually use a general contractor and base their findings on like an engineer or a licensed, somebody that can walk around and say, okay, the house is sunk here because X amount of water was in the house, things like that? Because you're giving the opinion that the house isn't substantially damaged, I assume. That's what you're saying.
Well, I'm giving my opinion based on what I see.
But generally, wouldn't it be an engineer or someone in your company that's certified in those kind of areas that would be giving that opinion?
Well, that's the reason we have an engineer's report, because I don't just want to lean anything on my word. We can lay all the liability on what the engineer.
You mean going forward, though, with the engineering
Yes.
report, correct?
Oh, yes.
But we don't have one currently today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, we have one.
It's been submitted.
Been
Okay.
submitted.
It's right here.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I have a question. So you're the contractor that was hired after the fact?
Yes.
And I
ma'am.
appreciate
Yes, ma'am.
that.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you're stating what you've seen in the property.
Yes.
But there's an attorney, sir, I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Anthony Comprato, it's okay.
You represent the owner of the property.
Yes, ma'am.
And really, the onus here is that the owner never pulled permits to do the work that they had done before you got involved. So this is more about the very beginning. Permits were not pulled, and you were told, not you, the owner was told, stop work, and you need to pull the permits. And I understand about the substantially damaged, but in the very beginning, the owner never pulled the permits in the first place. And that's kind of what this is about. And it's been going on for now 6 months. And it seems like it's taken a long time to get with the city to fill out the substantial damage packet. So it's been going on for a while.
Your Honor, if I may go ahead and respond to that. We're talking, he's been testifying on corrective action on that. And he actually filled out a substantial reassessment with the city. I actually filled out one with the county also, too. That's why I asked him the question on, did you actually help my office to provide actual documents on how much
Right.
the damages were?
Yes, it does.
So it hasn't been since February. That was done, your letter came out in January 29th, saying that it had to be filed within 60 days. That was then extended to May 6th, but I believe it was done in April?
April.
Yeah, April. We had the 60 days, and then there was an extension from what I remember. May I ask one more question of him?
Sure.
Thank you. Did you see anything that was a life safety issue? And again, we're only asking for 45 days. You see anything that's a life safety
I
issue?
mean, the house is, as I understand it, from the time that I first went to the house, I had to call and get a lockbox code to get in. So it's secure. So as far as life safety, I don't quite really know what that means. If you have a house that's locked, it's secure. We're not at fault for anybody who wants to break in, vandalize, get hurt while they're there. So, in my opinion, I don't see a life safety issue with a house that is locked and secured.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
I wanted to accept the evidence as provided from the defendant into evidence in the case of 202500005. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's not really a question. If a contractor had walked in, I mean, or anybody, somebody coming to clean up from the damage or the debris, because I'm sure there was much debris. There's many houses on Shore Drive, some large ones, some single family, or single smaller houses that have been there for a number of years. So if you had somebody come in and cleaning up the debris and they plugged something into one of the outlets, that could very easily be a life issue, because you don't know how the electric's going to react if it's been underwater, especially salt water, which it was salt water. There's a number of things the salt water did damage-wise. I'm just saying it could be definitely a life issue. Now, I mean, I'm not a professional on that, but I've seen it happen this last couple of months.
Just don't plug a Tesla in.
That too.
I watched one go up on Reddington Beach, like a block away, just take out the whole
Exactly.
house.
Exactly, so. Is there any more questions to be brought? Would you like to summarize, Mr. Task?
So I think that the testimony that you've received today and the evidence that you've received today shows that there was a violation of these two city code sections. We're asking that you find the property in violation of the two cited code sections. The city has no objection to extending the time frame from 30 to 45 days to get compliance. But we're asking that you do assess the $250 a day fine should it not be brought into compliance within that 45-day period of time. Roughly, time-wise, if 30 days is July 5th, I think it would put us around July 20th, 45 days out. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but the city would not object to that. Thank you.
Like to make a motion?
Go ahead.
For case number 20250005, and the property address is 506 Shore Drive East, Oldsmar. I move, based on the testimony, evidence, and facts presented, and the law, that at the time the alleged violations, section 3.3.2 and 6.8.1 of Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar was in force and in effect. The respondent was in violation thereof. The respondent has until, we're using the 20th, 7/20/25, to come into compliance with the code section, or fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day thereafter the respondent remains in violation of said code section.
I'll second.
Motion and seconded. Is any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the last case on your agenda today is the City of Oldsmar versus Real Estate Elegance LLC. There's no one else here in the audience, so it doesn't look like we have a respondent. So this is for the property located at 324 Shore Drive East here in Oldsmar. The city would call Greg Silliman as its witness. Greg, is this a proactive case or a complaint?
It was a complaint that was originating from a coworker in the city.
Okay, and what was the complaint that you received?
Can we correct the
Address.
address of the property, I think?
This is not this address
Oh,
is
Country
not
Club.
the owner.
324 Country Club Drive.
Oh,
So I need the agenda, I'm reading off the agenda.
but I know who lives at 324 Shore Drive East, and it is not the same person.
So let's correct the address, 324
I
Country
have
Club.
no idea what the address is.
It is 324 Country Club. Based
Okay,
upon
there.
the documentary evidence, the agenda is incorrect.
All right, got it.
So thank you for catching that. So back to the property itself. How did you determine that there was a violation on the property?
After I received the complaint, I received 2 photo packets. One packet was the home listed for sale as substantially damaged, with a combination of pictures that were from the Pinellas County Collector app, which is the app Pinellas County and City of Oldsmar uses for damage assessment, Zillow and Realtor.com. And then I received a second packet of photographs with the home for sale in a renovated state that were all from the Realtor.com website.
All right. So you determined that there was a violation of city code?
Yes.
What code sections were violated?
Section 3.3.2 and section 6.8.1.
And when you got the complaint, did you determine who the property owner was?
Yes.
How did you do that?
Through Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website.
And what did it tell you who the owner was or who is?
Real Estate Elegance LLC.
All right. So after you received the information, did you issue a code violation notice to the property owner?
Yes.
What date did you do that?
May 1st.
And in that code violation notice, you cited code sections 3.3.2 and 6.8.1?
Yes.
Both of those required building permits on the property, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And how much time did you give the property owner to come into compliance?
7 days.
Was that sent by regular mail?
Yes.
Did you get that back, the return mail? Okay, did you send it by certified mail?
Yes.
And did someone sign a green card for the certified mail?
Yes.
And what date was that signed?
May 6th.
Okay. Did you hear from the property owner after the code violation notice was issued?
I have not.
All right. Did you go out to the property, inspect whether or not it's in compliance?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did, subsequent to that, did you determine that it was not in compliance?
It was not in compliance.
All right, so you issued a notice of hearing.
Yes.
And what date did you do that?
May 14th.
And when you sent the notice of hearing, did you send that by regular mail?
Yes.
Was the regular mail, did it come back to you?
No.
Did you send it by certified mail?
Yes.
And did you get the green card back?
Yes.
And what was the date the green card was signed?
May 15th.
Okay, did you also post the property?
Yes.
And when did you post the property with the notice of hearing?
On May 14th.
All right. So, did you prepare an affidavit of service?
Yes.
All right. And what does that affidavit of service tell the code enforcement board?
It tells them that I mailed a copy of the notice of hearing certified mail, by first class mail, and I posted the property on May 14th.
Okay, and attached to that affidavit of service, is there a photograph of the posting of the notice of hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and it's posted on the property itself?
Correct.
Okay. So let's now talk about the photographs that you have that were provided to you. The first set showing that the property was substantially damaged, as you can go through that and number them and explain to the code enforcement board what each of those slides shows us.
Yes. There's a lot of pictures in both packets. So sheet 1 is the listing that was done on Realtor.com.
And the property was listed as substantially damaged at how much money?
$249,900.
Okay?
Picture number 2 is a picture of the exterior of the home. Picture number 3 is an exterior air conditioner
Oh, sorry.
with a Pinellas County inspector with measuring tape by the air conditioner. 3 is another picture of the front of the home. I'm sorry, 4.
Yeah, let's mark that 4.
Five is a picture where I believe the inspector's trying to capture a water line on the exterior of the home. The next is a picture of the exterior of the home by the AC power meter and a fence. Picture 7 is an interior room of the house. I think it's the same room in picture 8. Another room in photograph 9. Photograph 10 is a picture of, I would believe, a living or family room, a room with a fireplace and a rear door. Photo 11 is of another interior room. Photos 12 and 13 are 2 photos of the kitchen of just different angles.
Okay, and all those photographs were on that listing to have the property for sale as substantially damaged.
Yes, some were also collected from the Pinellas County Collector app. I believe the ones with the inspectors in it with the tape measure and the photographs.
Okay? All right, let's go to the after photographs.
So the after photographs have the home for sale for $405,000. This is from Realtor.com. So the first and second sheets, the first is the address with the for sale price. The second sheet is a listing of the property. Photographs 3, 4, and 5 are all pictures of the exterior front of the home. Photographs 6 and 7 are 2 different angles of the kitchen. Photographs 8 and 9 are photographs of the room that is by the front door, the entryway. Photograph 10 is a photograph of the kitchen. 11 is a photograph of the kitchen and the living area. Photograph 12 is a picture, I believe it's from the kitchen into the living area. Photographs 13, 14, and 15 are photographs of bedrooms. Photographs 16 and 17 are photographs of a hallway and the bathroom, a bathroom. I forgot, what was the last number?
17.
Okay. Photograph 18 and 19 are of bedrooms. Photograph 20 and 21 are photographs of another restroom. Photograph 22 is of a bedroom. I believe 23 is also a bedroom or a hallway, or both. Photograph 27 is, would appear to be like a laundry room with a water heater in it. And photographs 25, 26, and 27 would be pictures of the backside or rear of the home taken from the backyard area.
Sorry. All right, thank you. So is the property in compliance as of today?
No, it is not.
What will it take to bring the property into compliance?
The property is still substantially damaged, so they would have to come out of substantial damage, demo it, elevate it, or come out of substantial damage, do the application process with the city of Oldsmar, and then get all the after-the-fact permits and inspections done through Pinellas County.
Okay. How much time do you think it would take to bring the property into compliance?
30 days.
And should they not bring the property into compliance within 30 days, what do you think the appropriate daily fine and the reasons why?
$250 per day. Again, for life safety issues, all the work has been completed. So there's been no inspections done of electrical work or plumbing work on the interior of the walls or any of the work done in the building.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Silman, can we ask, when was this purchased by Real Estate Elegance, do we know?
I do not know that now.
It was after, obviously, after the flooding.
Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website isn't totally up to date on sale date, so I can't give you an answer on that.
Okay, so the city would at this point tender into evidence the code violation notice, the green card that was signed by the property owner, the notice of a hearing that was issued, the green card that was signed by the property owner, the affidavit of service along with the photographs of posting of the property, the photographs when the property was in substantial damage mode and for sale, and then the photographs of after the property was completely remodeled. Ask that you receive these into evidence.
We accept these into evidence for case number 2025006 as evidence. I'm going to split them this time.
Yeah, probably. Oh, my.
So there was, do have a question. So at some point, there was questions going around at just various city meetings that if you sold the property, that the new property owner was not responsible to obtain permits or whatever because of, or, yeah, I know. But
Are you asking me?
anybody,
So a
yeah.
code violation is on the property itself, not on the owners. So a code violation like this would follow whoever has ownership of the home.
Goes with the
But
land.
they're always going to require, if someone were to buy this home without knowledge, they would be responsible for getting all the after-the-fact permits and getting the inspections done.
Right, okay. I know there was just a lot of scuttlebutt about, sell your house, then you're not responsible anymore, or,
No.
or the people are not responsible either, so you got that too.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question, real quick, and I don't know if it really applies so much to these today. Oldsmar, do we have an occupancy permit, so after these houses flooded, is the city of Oldsmar given permit to say, okay, you can go back and inhabit that house? Do we do that?
We did not. That'd be something probably Pinellas County would do, like their housing officials.
Okay,
Right.
so it's nothing Oldsmar does?
It's no.
Not a permit that we-
I have no part in that.
That's big up north, that's why I asked that question, because like, no one would be able to go back in these homes without an occupancy permit. That's why I'm kind of surprised that we're not doing that down this way.
I have nothing to do with that. As far as I know, we
Just a
weren't
question.
restricting anyone from re-entering homes.
Gotcha.
So the city would call Tatiana Childress to be able to answer that question. Tatiana, were you sworn in?
Yes.
Okay, so you've heard the question from Mr. Carroll?
Yes, Tatiana Childress, City of Oldsmar Planning and Redevelopment Director. So since we have Pinellas County as our building official, we provided habitability inspections. That's what you're referring to, I believe. And Pinellas County inspectors, they went out to those properties and they performed certain inspections that are related to safety. And they refer to them as habitability inspections. Habitable,
Habitability.
like is, and yes. Thank you.
So we do it, we just call it something different.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just
Did
to
we get
summarize
those
now,
back?
if there's no other questions, we'd ask that you find the property in violation of section 3.3.2 and 6.8.1 for failure to obtain the building permits. Give the property owner until July 5th. Should the property be not brought in compliance by July 5th, we're asking that you assign a $250 a day fine for every day the property remains in non-compliance.
make the motion?
I will make a motion. Sorry, I'm still looking at the.
Sorry about that.
The photograph.
Rushing you.
For case number 2025006 for property located at 324 Shore Drive East, I move, based on the testimony, evidence, and facts presented in law, that at the time of the alleged violation, sections 3.3.2 and 6.8.1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar was in force and effect. Country Club.
I think we,
Oh,
that was a problem originally, but
oh, on the notice of hearing, it said
Right.
Shore Drive.
this is the proper address.
So to correct the address, it's 324 Country Club Drive. The respondent was in violation thereof. The respondents have until July 5th to come into compliance with the code section, or a fine of $250 per day shall be imposed for each day thereafter the respondents remain in violation of said code section.
Second?
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? My only question is, if the notice of hearing showed the property at 324 Shore Drive, would that make a difference because it was posted as well?
So you've got the green card as evidence that it was received by the property owner, even though the letter may have been addressed incorrectly. It went to the correct address signed by the property owner. And also the property was posted as shown in the affidavit of service and the testimony that was given.
That is it. Any further
you.
questions, discussion?
That's a good question.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I would, thank you, Mr. Trask. You've been very good tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate your time today. I know this is a little bit different. We haven't done this in a long time. But I can tell you that you can expect a lot more of these. We'll try to do them in groups so that we're not really late into the night, but expect a couple of hours each and every time hereafter. Some of the cities that I represent, they've decided to move them earlier in the day. I know that's not always easier to do when you have people that are working as yourselves, but if you feel that that's needed, we can discuss that. But please be prepared to be here a couple of hours for each one of these hearings as we work through all of these cases as we're going forward. All right? Appreciate your time.
Actually, this was a lot faster than I thought.
Okay.
To be honest with you, for as many cases, I read them all, believe it or not, before I came, and I said, the wife had asked, and I said, I don't think 8, 9 o'clock is out of the realm. So, good job.
Well, we really appreciate you having read everything ahead of time. I think it speeds up the process with you having that background knowledge if you read the agenda package before you get here.
Yep.
Right.
And you'll notice it in the agenda package, we don't give you everything in the agenda package, and there's a reason for that. And that's why we provide you the additional evidence when we get here, the photographs and things like that, so,
They're up to date.
okay?
It was well explained by Jen to me today.
Okay.
And with that being said, as a reminder, all your notes and information is public, so if you want to go home and maybe, or leave them with Jen to be shred, or if you take them home, they're public property, so just as a note.
All right, so-
I have one question, because my concern is this, 3 of the properties are for sale. And if they go for sale, you know, that presents a problem for our city. Is there anything that can happen with these companies that are trying to flip and sell?
So
And
what we
then-
will do as quickly as we can after the orders were entered, I mean, normally we wait, if you give them 30 days to come into compliance, normally we wait 30 days to actually record the order because we don't want to waste tax dollars by recording something that is found in compliance and we got to issue a release.
Okay.
So, but on those cases that we believe that they're in the process of being sold, it may be smart for the city to go ahead and record those sooner.
Okay.
There's no legal requirement to wait, but to record them sooner. And then when the property title search is done for the closing of the property, it will come up and it will have to be addressed. So, but I'll talk to code enforcement and Tatiana and maybe the city manager will determine how we're going to handle that. And obviously keep the city clerk's office in the loop.
Yeah, I just think that's highly recommended on the properties that are for sale. There's a couple of them that were not. My next question is,
But you never know when they're for sale.
right, the next meeting is the day before the 4th of July. Is that going to affect our next date? Are we still going to have it the first Thursday of July?
We normally do.
Okay,
Would that be an issue with anybody?
it's not an issue. I was just curious. I was
No, I
thinking
mean-
ahead. and-
Question.
Not that I know.
And one other thing, I just wanted to address the public record aspect that the chair has said. If the notes that you have made on whatever paperwork you have was solely for your own self and you did not show them to anybody and you have no intention of showing them to anybody, it is outside the public records requirement, so you don't have to save them. But if you are showing them to somebody else, you're transmitting information, it is a public record and you have to retain them. So you decide on how you want to handle that. But if the notes were just for yourself and nobody else, they can be destroyed.
Can we refer to our notes if one of these cases comes back before?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I do that, and I would expect that if you're following them when they come back, either on an affidavit of compliance or non-compliance, because we'll come back to you and tell you, maybe not on the July 3rd meeting, because most of these are compliance dates
After,
of July 5th.
Right.
But the following month, we'll come back to you and we'll provide to you an affidavit of compliance or non-compliance for your consideration, so you know whether or not that they did what you told them to do.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll be in the minutes.
Yes, the minutes obviously will reflect that too.
True.
But not, it won't reflect your personal notes, though.
Right.
So, if that's all, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I motion to adjourn.
I will second. Third, fourth, fifth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Good job.
Can I see you just
Real
a
good
quick
job.
second?